she was promoting what was the EP or album? She was putting up with this album. They called me right back. Hey man, what's up with this? I said, listen, I have nothing to do with that. They said, we know it's under Big Cloud Records. Now, what folks don't know was we had another situation where another song was dropped while that was a signed label, and it was dropped under Big Cloud Records. I didn't know anything about it, but I knew what snake was behind it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I knew what snake was behind it. So they asked me about it. I asked Duck about it. Duck said he didn't know nothing about it. I called and told him, look, Duck said he don't know nothing about it. A couple of days later, that song was down. So when she was promoting this album, I called her and I said, Sheena, listen, don't put the album up because they're gonna have it, take it down. I guess she felt like I was lying. So she put it up. They called me and said, Manny, she put it up. I said, I had nothing to do with it. 2 days later, it was down. She come out the gate saying I had it took down. Listen, lady, I have no power to call Apple, Spotify, Tidal, and all these downloadable sites at one time and tell them to take that song down. I would have never done that because at the end of the day, I wanted you to eat. So that, I had nothing to do with that, bro.
Yeah, and I hear you, and I do think it's important that you kind of tell your truth, because sometimes these internets run wild, because there's a lot of stories that was about you on the internet. I do want to know one thing, though. Another thing I kind of want to know that I think is important, as far as with FBG Duck, was it really true? Because nobody really asked nobody as close to him as like a manager. We always ask like closeness as friends and stuff. But was the blackballing really real for FBG Duck? Was it hard getting them on and managing?
And say, listen, we can't have them. You know what I mean? So we was getting a lot of that, but am I saying that was stopping that movement for them? Nah, that wasn't stopping the movement for them. That wasn't that, but it was expected. But at that point you look at it, it was a competition. So with that, in the art of competition, you use whatever tools you could use. So that's what it was, man.
Right. That was something I wanted to ask you. And I got another question I kind of want to ask you. And it's the last one I really want to ask you, linked to MamaDuck. But I do think this is a big question, because I think this, and this kind of trended on Say Cheese TV, this interview that dropped recently. It kind of said something about your sons, too, now. It kind of said that, you kind of don't really look out for MamaDuck anymore. You kind of turned on her. You got anything to say about that?
Yeah, I got something to say about it. Listen, my relationship with my kids is stronger than anything. And, their lives is to me. You understand what I'm saying? So when they see someone attacking me, what you think they supposed to do? You know what I mean? You gonna turn around and feed a person, and then turn around and let that person kick you in your ass? It don't work like that way, man. It don't work that. And believe me, man, my job, Duck had 4 kids out there. My job, if y'all was partners, my job is for them kids, you ought to pick up where he left off at. And in some sense we have done that. We didn't reach out, because I really had contact with one mother. And I always tell her, I think the last time we talked to Jasmine, we sent money for Christmas for the kids. And we told her, and Jasmine, she, sweet woman. She was like, well, I'm gonna let them know. We told her, nah, don't let them know, because it wasn't nothing for publicity. It was, we love that dude. That was their brother. That dude was like a kid to me. No, he was, and like I tell her, if anything CJ need, them other kids, Aiden need, the rest of them kids need, you make the phone call. She know who she can call. You know what I mean? And if we can't get it right there, we get us a couple days, we'll get it together and we'll give it to her. There's no, man, listen, before Duck died, bro, and before a certain snake came in, and this is exactly what I want to talk about. I'll get to that in a minute. A certain person came back in, man, it was a beautiful relationship between all of them, bro. A beautiful relationship. Like I say, literally brothers, bro. They will get together, man. Cause my house has been one of the houses when all of them get together, and we not just talking to rappers, we talking about all of them. My house was always the house, was the meeting house. Alright, we going to Pop, they call me Pops. We going to Pop's house, they'll get over here, you know, Duck will either, two places Duck gonna go, he gonna either go upstairs, in my bed, they'll cross the bed, cut the TV on, he gonna go in the basement. Dutchy gonna go in the refrigerator. Dutchy thing in the refrigerator. You know, Wooski thing is goddamn it, he like an electric wreck. You got to down there get him and sit him down. You know, Young gonna go in the basement. And all them guys, all of them get together. We talking about all of them fresh.
You know what, Manny? Not to cut you off. I don't want to cut you off, but why are you talking about them? I kind of want to leave that to my next question, and I don't want to get off track.
I got you.
You spoke on a lot of names, and that was actually going into my next question. You know, I'm pretty sure you know your sons, you know, more than anybody else on that. But on like the outside, a lot of people in Chicago consider them as like Chicago drill rap legends, okay? And a lot of the people who was around them end up becoming famous just because they was around them, you know? It's a lot of guys that kind of lost their life due to gun violence that was linked to, you know, guys from St. Lawrence. Was it weird knowing that those guys used to come in your house? Was it weird seeing those passings like that?
Hey, man, it got to a point where I even stopped. It got to a point, hey, somebody open the door, this is John. Yeah, excuse me. Alright. It got to a point. But I stopped going, man, let me tell you something. Tooka, when it first happened to Tooka, bro, it was like unbelievable. But what people don't really know about Tooka wasn't no game. Hey man, listen, Tooka probably was the most respectable kid I have ever known in my life. When I first met Tooka, he asked me to take him home, and me and my kid's mother, we was in there, and he came in here dressed as a yes sir, yes man. It fucked me up. I had to call that boy mama like, you raising this kid, right? Cause it was, you know what I mean? I mean, this kid, 13, 14, 15 years old, saying yes sir, yes ma'am. And that just wasn't heard of at the time, you know what I mean?
Right.
Then right after him, I think, BossTrell. Now BossTrell he was like a son to me. When he got killed, that shit tore me down. And then it just down the hill, LilB, Modell, this one out. Can't get, man, it was just a Tyquan. The day Tyquan got killed, I think I was on the block, ducking behind a tree. I had just, cause I always frequent, if I'm in the neighborhood, I just pass by and check on him.
Right.
That shit happened, bro. It just, it's crazy, man. Yeah, that shit, man, that shit hurt, bro.
You know, I always wanted to ask you that because I noticed you was like from the manager side, I'm pretty sure. And you know, another thing that I wanted to ask you that I think is a big question. I'm not sure when you say where you used to live at, is that 6417?
Nah, we stayed 518 East 64th Street.
Okay, but I do see like those numbers on the chains that
6th
like,
Street. Nah, that's what they look. That was Trail's house. Trail mother house.
Okay.
She basically left it to them. They let you little hang out. Wherever I wanted to catch him, wherever any other the parents, me, Dutchy Mama, Sheena, Fresh Mama, wherever we wanted to catch him at, that was the first place you go look for him at. You go to St. Lawrence and look for him there. And 99% of the time, that's where you call him at.
Right. Right. And the reason I asked you that is because, you know, that neighborhood became famous all over the world. It's a lot of neighborhoods in Chicago, millions of people, millions of streets, but 63rd, St. Lawrence, that area became